Hey guys, today we're going to the old stomping ground of the classic casual Geographic. They released a new video, I think 4 days ago, and it was interesting, so fuck it. We've been on a little bit of a tangent, but I think we're going to keep going with that tangent because I'm enjoying the unhinged. I'm enjoying Warhammer, and I'm enjoying unhinged brain rot, so I think we'll keep going with that. But I'm not abandoning the animal stuff. So this is for you guys today. So please enjoy. That's fake. That is a guy in a turkey costume, right? That's not real. No. That is a guy in a turkey costume. Look at how it moves. That's fake. That's fake. You can't fucking get one up on me. Oh my fucking god. Holy shit!
Don't be scared. He's just a baby.
That's a baby?
He will get bigger. Close your eyes and visualize the most disrespected animal on Earth. Now open them and apologize for not thinking of the living laundry lint. You don't respect this dinosaur nearly enough. Many people have never seen this flying fossil, or they have and never wish to ever again. The world
What the fuck
would
is
be a
that?
legitimate horror movie without them, yet this creature and its kind are still very much maligned by humanity. But
Wait, is it a vulture? A vulture's that
you'll
big?
see why. The first two videos pretty much sums up our relationship with them. Especially when you let it play all the way. I told you, just a baby.
That's actually kind of cute.
Andean condor, and condors are Jurassic vultures on steroids. There's the Andean and the California condor, and both are built like a prehistoric paralysis demon. They're the closest relative of
Paralysis
I live a
demon.
life of decency and virtue, because otherwise I know I
Wait. You said something about RGs. I play Ark, so I'm interested. You said RG, and I'm
They're
interested.
the closest relative of Argentavis, and I live a life of decency and virtue, because otherwise I know I'd see this homicidal death pigeon in hell. Argentavis flexed a wingspan of up to 23 feet. Weighed as
Holy
much as an adult
fucking
man.
shit.
It would have been about the size of a Cessna 152. And
So, we're trying to bring like Lolly Namas back. And they brought direwolves back for some fucking reason. I don't understand bringing a predator back alive. That seems like a really bad idea. But considering I've played Ark, I would be all for bringing Argentavis back, even though I assume it'd be bad for So I basically just counteracted my own point there. So yeah, I guess I'm hypocritical in that regard.
that same grown man in the eye. The condors of today are slightly smaller.
Holy fuck! That's still big!
Which is how the bird can stay in the air for hours without flapping their wings once. In fact, by using thermal drafts, one condor managed to soar for 5 hours and cover 100 miles. All that and no flap. The feather relic is also one of the longest living birds, with some surviving up to 70.
It looks like a turkey though. Fucking that head alone looks like a fucking turkey, bro. It's a big overgrown turkey.
The sun. Not only does puberty turn an avian dust bunny into Skeksis from Dark Crystal, they end up becoming the biggest birds of prey on Earth. You can't imagine waking up to a dragon and drag outside your window, and that's because you're not from Chile. Not only is it the national bird of Chile, shout out to Chile, they even have a Chilean comic based on them called Condorito. Lucky for Chileans, this dog and my mental health, condors are absolutely harmless. Unless you watch Total Drama.
Why do you say that? Please tell me that bird is actually harmless. Please, I don't want to fight with a fucking condor.
That might have been the first time Alejandro got his rocked. But yeah, it's a good thing that a bird that could pass for a man.
I'm sorry, I still can't. No, I still don't believe this is real. This is a guy in a suit. It's moving way too weirdly to be a fucking real bird.
Is a scavenger. To be fair, that is a man in a suit, but
I fucking knew it. Okay, I knew it. I knew that was a guy in a suit. Okay, see, I may be dumb, but I'm not that dumb.
Dude, I was kidding about the Jesus. Time really hasn't been kind to the condor. It might actually be the dinosaur left behind. Way back in the day, California condors made a meal out of megafauna like mammoths, bison, and giant ground sloths after they passed
Holy
tests.
shit!
It's believed that it was the presence of plus-size prey in the Pleistocene that allowed condors to get so big. The problem is, mammoths and giant sloths got discontinued a while.
Bro, looking at CG now is very... This CG did not age well. I've watched those programs where it's like, not Land Before Time, that's something different. The like prehistoric ones where it shows you like all the dinosaurs and stuff like that. the CG doesn't hold up that well, at least
Being a literal
here.
big bird got left holding the bag. It's a biological anachronism. The condorito was built for a time that is long gone, and when many of the megafauna disappeared, the condor flirted with the oblivion too. Somehow
So it didn't adapt then?
they
For sure?
survived, but that would not be the closest condors would come to extinction. The sick joke is,
Oh.
DDT was really good at murking insects, but even better at erasing everything else, and condors caught the biggest stray, since the same pesticides would weaken eggshells and cause them to break. Condors only have one egg every
Oh.
2 years, and the lint chicken that comes out can take up to 8 to mature, and this painfully slow
Holy
reproductive
shit.
rate only made the effects of DDT hit harder. But wait, there's more. As an aerial coffin, many condors die from lead poisoning caused by the bullets hunters leave in the dead. Beowulf was a condor
I never thought of that. Holy shit, yeah. Okay, yeah.
raised in the Los Angeles Zoo who was released to help contribute to the population. He never would, as he would die 3 months later with an air gun pellet in his gizzard and another statistic for lead poisoning.
I'm not a fan of birds, but these ones are actually fucking cool, bro. These things are cool. I'm like, genuinely, I'm not a fan of birds, but like, I like these. Pigeons are okay now. I really do actually like owls. I kind of find owls cute, and I don't know why, but I do find them fucking cute. But other birds, I'm not like a massive. I don't hate them. I'm just not really keen on them. But these ones seem fucking cool. Why would you shoot
And if that
it?
wasn't bad enough, Johnny Cash nearly soloed the entire species. Johnny Cash is known for many songs that I cannot name, but I do know him as the guy that got high, started a fire to stay warm, and caused a forest fire that not only burnt 500 acres of a national forest, it cooked 49 of the condors living there. When asked, did you
Oh
start the
my
fire?
God.
Cash said, no, my truck did, and it's dead, so you can't question it.
Although I like his music, okay? I like some Johnny Cash. I don't know who doesn't, but what a fucking dick move, bro. Just admit it.
Okay, Cash.
Jesus
When asked
Christ.
if he felt bad, Johnny said, well, I feel pretty good right now. Evidently, the forest wasn't the only thing that got blazed, and when the judge reminded him of his hate crime towards condors, Cash asked, why should he care? After the federal
Oh my
government
god. Please don't ruin Johnny Cash for me. I actually do like quite a lot of his old songs, like genuinely. Bro, what a dick. What an actual dick.
125,000 worth of care out of his account, he got his answer. Also, I lied. I can name
1.4
one
million
song,
today.
Ring of Fire. No currency can
Oh,
bring
gosh.
the condors back though, and years of getting jumped by DDT, lead poisonings, and human hubris had the California condor population down all the way to 27 left in the world by 1987.
Okay, so it's extinct. It's basically an extinct bird. It doesn't exist anymore. I'm pretty sure when you get to like double digits, you can't reproduce enough anymore to bolster your population. So you're technically a dead bird
The bird
walking.
from a land before time was about to flatline. That is until folks finally decided to step up. For all the damage done to
Oh.
the condor, humanity came in clutch for the cause. They went all out, first by
Hey.
capturing all the wild condors left, and when they were done, every condor alive was in captivity. Then they really put in work.
Good. Okay, that's the way you put it sounds horrible, but this is genuinely for their own good and to preserve the species. So I feel like this is one of the few instances where this is okay, like legitimately fine.
Condor eggs have a longer release time than a Spider-Verse movie, but a biohack is that condors will often lay a second, even third egg if the first one is removed. So the strat was to collect condor eggs for caretakers to raise themselves, basically doubling the output. This would save the condor population at the last absolute second, as condors would begin to be airdropped back into the wild in the 90s, and today, there's
Hey,
over
let's
500
go.
California condors. both in
Let's go. Okay, a fucking happy ending, but the video's only 4 minutes in.
captivity
Fuck.
and seasoned across the Southwest. There is one
That's
problem with
actually
raising
fantastic.
condors, and it's that the condors can become attached to humans, and like we always say on this channel, the worst thing a wild animal can do is lose its fear of people. The condor compromise was raising these floof nuggets with hand puppets in their parents' likeness. This allowed keepers to teach baby condors how to condor while also retaining their natural fear of humans, which I thought was what was happening here, but I looked into it and this has nothing to do with conservation. This
What
is just
is
love of the
this?
game. Must be mutual, because if you look closer, that's also a condor in a man's suit. Convincing, right? But raising condors is
No.
more than just throwing meat at a panhandling puffball. There's a method. In the late 80s and early 90s, folks started raising kid condors in this like daycare system, but with no older birds. But because they had no older birds to use as role models, when the condors were released, they basically acted like teenagers with their parents gone for the weekend. They do things like approach people, invade campsites, and even enter buildings. Things you don't want an endangered species doing, so we had to adjust. Instead, folks shifted tactics based on how wild condors come up and would have a baby sitting by itself most of the time, only occasionally being visited by an adult, aka a puppet. Later on, they'd be assigned a
Bro, that's gotta fuck with your head. Like, your parent is a fucking puppet? Holy
hold a
fuck.
mentor condor to show them the ropes, and in the final step, both would be moved to a flight pen for the fledgling to learn how to fly. And caretakers would teach stranger danger by using the business end of a water gun on any condor that got too friendly with humans to keep them appropriately people PTSD. They'd also use like shock therapy to teach condors to avoid frying themselves on power lines. But the job's not finished once you have condors in the wild. I won't call them the pandas of birds because, well, one, pandas don't deserve that self-plug, but two, condors have
Bro. No, I still like pandas. I'm sorry. I'm a sucker for a cute panda. Or baby seals. Baby seals are just ungodly
harder
cute.
time making more of themselves. 25% of California condor eggs are infertile duds that have to be replaced before the couple gives up. Side note, I just remembered, condors can pull a Virgin Mary where a female can lay and hatch a fully functional egg with zero male involvement, like maternal menaces. That's parthenogenesis, and I feel like having that move in your bag and almost never using it, even with your population halfway in past tense, like,
Yeah,
I get that it's
that's so
mostly our
dumb.
fault, but like, help us help you. Anyway, there's no guarantee with the egg hatches anyway, because many chicks get accidentally poisoned by microtrash, which clogs their system and starves them to death. So researchers gotta constantly sift through the nest for microtrash, and any chick suspected to be contaminated is kidnapped and medevaced for surgery. Which
It's fucking kidnapped. No, they're taken to a vet for treatment and then they're brought back, I'm sure. They're not
also,
kidnapped.
someone has to camp by the nest for 24 hours and keep the parents from coming home to an empty one and abandoning it. Gatekeeping a dragon from a child for a day sounds
Okay, I actually didn't realize. Okay, that's actually way more
more like a Mr.
bro.
Beast challenge than a way to spend your zoology degree. If a released
Mr.
condor
Beast
can avoid lead
challenge.
poisoning, pollution, and getting deep fried on power lines, it'll roam the skies for decades and hopefully make many more condors along the way. And if they're
Let's
lucky, they'll have
go.
the same partner by their side the whole time. Condors do not get enough credit for how loyal they are. The symbol of unity can have
Oh,
a
I love
5%
that.
divorce rate, and a penguin can propose with his best pebble and still get cheated on. But for the most part, a condor will see another condor and just spend the next 40 years making it work. Unless death really does them part. But condors aren't just loyal to their mate. Believe it or not, an overgrown struggle vulture has a social structure on par with chimpanzees and wolves. Condors have a social
Hey, yo.
hierarchy where every bird knows its rank, especially at the dinner table, where elders dominate. Which is why those raised without other condors end up with avian Alzheimer's, as in they forget their place. But it's not just a hierarchy. Condors will have a friend group that they'll hang with, and if you're around long enough, you'll see them preening, play fighting, and even chasing each other. They'll even look after other injured condors and share food with those that can't do so for themselves.
I'm sorry. What the fuck? These birds are amazing. I like condors now. Legit, I like
What kind of bird of
condors.
prey you know that's moving like that? The social
Yeah,
butterfly nature is
exactly.
why we had to put on the hand puppets in the first place. When I said condors can get attached to humans, we're talking about a commitment lasting
Oh,
years.
baby.
Eduardo is an Argentinian cattle farmer who found an injured condor on his property and helped bring the bird back to health. Now, every once in a while, the condor visits a man that saved him as a thank you.
Right in the honey nut Cheerios. Holy shit, that's so. Bro, this is so wholesome. What the fuck? I'm not used to this from
He even tries
casual.
to preen him. But to me, the wildest part is the condor didn't imprint on Ed because it eventually went back into the wild instead of following him around. So this venti vulture is actively going out of its way to see him. Who'd expect that kind of
Yeah.
emotional depth from a cloud casket? Well, anyone who's worked with them, because they'll tell you that vultures are sky puppies with personalities that'll even have favorite
Sky puppies, stop,
keepers that
stop.
they'll run to when excited. They're also curious and will play
No.
with anything from actual toys to the socks and shoelaces of their preferred human. Many keepers swear by vultures being the most fun bird to train because their curiosity and attachment makes them act like precocious children always looking for their parents' approval. They're even on the short list of animals smart enough to use tools, with Egyptian vultures using rocks to crack open ostrich.
Egyptian, I'm just saying, the best type, the best type.
You wouldn't expect that from a career scavenger in death.
Let's go,
Vultures have been
smart
underrated, and
burp.
fun fact, there's old world and new world vultures, and they're not related.
Why does it sound like something like fucking Destiny, like old world Destiny and new world Destiny?
Vultures are essential workers. They're just so important that nature went ahead and made them twice. But this is not a
Oh.
Vulture Glaze video, so before we talk about the good, we
No, please stop. Please, I actually really like these now. Like, legitimately, you sold me on not vultures, condors. You sold me on condors. I fucking like these birds now. Don't ruin it. I already see the image here, and oh god.
You got a squeak on the
Okay.
side you probably already know. Everything I've said about vultures is still true, but it's also true that they have the nastiest diet of any animal.
Oh yeah. Okay, they're carrion eaters. Okay. You know what? For not vultures, for condors, I can overlook that. I can
They'll eat the
overlook that.
foulest, most putrid piece of meat like a kid eats candy, and having a weak beak and feet means they'll break into a body from the worst half. Which is why vultures are bald. No point in having feathers when you're going to be neck deep in a dead buffalo. Being bald also helps with temperature. So does another thing they do. Vultures practice urohydrosis, where they'll leak liquid nasty all over their legs to cool off like sweat. So if you see a vulture with ashy feet, now you know. Also, some vultures will weaponize their diet, as turkey vultures will projectile vomit sewer-smelling foulness I can't even imagine. Or maybe I just don't want to. Especially if they spray you in the eyes, and if it hits feathers, the acid nerfs the ability to fly. That's not the most offensive thing vultures do. Contrary to popular belief, black vultures will camp out in flock around sheep giving birth and immediately swarm the newborn, gouging the eyes out and eating the blind lamb alive. That's not even mentioning what vultures do to the economy. You do know vulture vomit and dookie juice can cause power outages when they pile up on transmission towers, and that vulture curiosity can send your car insurance into the stratosphere, as necro-tweeties are liable to scratch paint, rip rubber seals and wipers off cars, and even tear the vinyl seat covers from boats and tractors. That's not as bad as the possibility of them contaminating water sources with their acidic feces, when the coliform bacteria from it invades water towers or reservoirs. Not to mention, being the highest flying bird can backfire when they join the Mile High Club after getting rear-ended by a plane engine. Which makes
Sorry, I'm sorry, I realized I haven't said anything for the past like 30 seconds. Holy shit, sorry. I'm just stunned by that. I thought it was, I knew they were carrion eaters, but not that bad. Fucking hell.
In terms of damage, one of the costliest animals in America, estimated to cause about $3 million and $1.2 million in damages to military and civil aircraft respectively. When you add the dent they leave in infrastructure and livestock, vultures are capable of burning a multi-million-dollar hole in the economy. But the real damage is to the economy of your social life. Let a guest see, smell, or otherwise perceive a committee of vultures on your property, and that might just be the last time they ever come over. But most people would probably forgive all of that if they weren't so ugly. So it's not hard to see how people see a vulture and see nothing but a nuisance. Well, vultures have no business being as OP as they are. Many animals have powerful digestive juices to eat carcasses, but no animal can match a Hades chicken's internal fortitude.
A Hades chicken, holy shit, bro.
Vulture stomach acid has a pH lower than 1, meaning they can destroy toxins like anthrax and cholera that would one-shot almost anything else.
Anthrax? They can withstand anthrax, excuse you?
Botulism is considered the most potent natural substance on Earth, as the toxins produced by bacteria attacks the body's nerves, causing muscle paralysis, difficulty breathing, and even death. Let alone the fact some people pay to put
what
that
the
in
fuck?
their face. The vulture's nervous.
Wait, what? People put a toxin in their... Why? What?
System is resistant to that same bacteria and can also tank the same bacteria that can cause tetanus and gangrene with zero effects. Not to mention, when they're knee deep in death and decay, leaking liquid on their legs not only cools them, it acts as an antiseptic that kills bacteria on contact. Vultures are what that 0.1% of germs are afraid of, and pathogens like tuberculosis, salmonella, leprosy, and even rabies meet their end in a vulture's gizzard, which is a big deal.
It's swallowing the fucking bone, bro. It's gonna choke, right?
Because if you watch this video, another plug, but you know rabies is the disease that scares me the most. The idea of a disease rewiring your brain chemistry for the worse while also making you afraid of water, something that is non-negotiable if you want to live, haunts me. Rabies buries an estimated 70,000 people a year, and with the most common cause of cases being dog bites, it's most destructive in areas with a large stray population, like India. But there's two things India did that gave rabies the green light. First was them criminalizing euthanizing stray dogs, but the main reason was a complete accident. Diclofenac was a drug used as a painkiller and anti-inflammatory for cattle, but that same drug also caused fatal kidney failure in the vultures that ate them. This did an absolute number on the vulture population, with many species cut down by 99%. Not only was it
99%. That's a death sentence.
One of the fastest collapses of a bird species, the consequences of the sudden disappearance of nature's cleanup crew was predictable, as a number of rabies cases skyrocketed. And you remember what I said about vultures in the economy? Well, the free fall of the vulture population likely led to the deaths of 500,000 people and an economic loss of $70 billion. from 2000 to 2005. But
What?
don't
Excuse
think it's just
you?
India that benefited from a scavenger stimulus package. Anthrax outbreaks are a semi-common occurrence in places like Kruger National Park in South Africa and Virunga National Park in the Congo.
I'm sorry. Anthrax outbreaks are common in those areas need to be quarantined permanently, just forever quarantined. They're never allowed to leave that place. Holy fuck.
Especially in places where you can have pool parties that contain more hippo than pool, and these outbreaks can kill up to 100 hippos at a time. Not only that, but these
Holy
outbreaks can reach
shit.
humans, as in 2011, over 500 cases of anthrax poisonings in humans were reported after 80-something hippos died of the same. Now imagine the carnage if you didn't have bald-headed equalizers clearing the disease for the free. Like I said, there's a reason nature thought vultures were so nice they made them twice. Vultures also contribute to society and
Yeah, I see now. I get it. I get it. I totally get why vultures are important. Okay. Yeah, fucking full 180. Well, I didn't hate them before or anything. I just felt they were like, gross carrion birds. They're probably stinky. Nah, like, fuck it, especially condors now.
less
Fuck.
dramatic ways, as in the 1930s, the Union Oil Company of Texas started putting mercaptan in natural gas, and with turkey vultures often gathering around the smell, they'd use the birds as markers to locate gas leaks. Vultures also act as an alarm bell for illegal poaching activity, as them circling over an area is like a Batman signal to park rangers. Unfortunately, that is also
let's
made them a
go.
target for poachers, who purposely try to
Oh,
poison them.
fuck.
Evidently, the only toxin vultures have no answer for.
I was gonna say something, but I realize I'm on YouTube and I'd probably get bonked if I say it. I want the worst. I want the absolute worst for these poachers. I'm sorry. Obviously, I can't say what I want to say, but you get the idea. I want the absolute worst for these poachers so
is
badly.
humanity. Like I said, you do not respect vultures nearly enough, and I take back what I said about them being
No,
ugly.
yeah,
The
true.
griffon vulture mogs any eagle you can think of. The bearded vulture is like a Pokemon.
That is not ugly. That is cool as fuck. To the fucking red fucking eyes. Are you shitting me? The colors? I mean, I'm kind of biased, obviously, but I mean, this. What is this? This is cool as shit,
A
bro.
fire type come to life. The king vulture is just an ethereal specimen of a bird. That is, if you can ignore the chesticle situation. And oh, my sweet
Chesticle?
baby boy. If there are no condors alive, just know that I have died. And that's gonna do it for this video. Make sure you drink water, hug your mother, put some respect on the vulture's game. Shout out to this comment for making me make this video. Acknowledge your father, and I'ma see y'all in the next one.
Bye, casual. Oh, baby. The islands are a bit creepy, I won't lie. It's not the perfect cute thing ever. Like, I still prefer puppies, but I like condors now. Whoever, I remember it was someone here in the comments that recommended this. One guy in particular. Thank you for recommending this. I enjoyed this one. This was very wholesome. I would like more wholesome things. We have brain rot covered, okay? We don't need no brain rot. I've got enough to keep us satisfied with brain rot. We've got plenty of Warhammer we can get through. I need to break some disturbing animal shit, and I would prefer wholesome for a little while at least. Please have mercy. Bye, guys.